Okay guys, I wanted to show you the parts that I've got assembled for what I'm going to put in this. I've got the 4 cups of water in my pot here. I've got 3 bouillon cubes. Here's the type of bouillon cubes I use, but I guess anyone would be fine. Some carrots, baby carrots. I think those will be more tender, but it shouldn't matter after they cook anyways. They should be nice and tender. I've got some red potatoes here. I think they'll be sufficient, and I've used white potatoes in the past, but I think the red ones will be okay. As long as you don't use giant baker potatoes or something like that, it should work out okay. And I've got my trusty measuring cup here that is in both the metric and the non-metric American measuring system, because I'm an international kind of guy. But and other than that, we've just got the recipe here that my mom gave me. She hand wrote it. I'm not sure where she got it. But then we've also got some chicken here defrosting. Looks kind of nasty when it's defrosting. But anyways, I'm going to take that chicken and I'm going to cut it up into small pieces and maybe even tenderize it with a hammer before I put it in here. But I'll give you guys an update in a minute on how it comes out, okay? Okay, here's what we're going to do, guys. You can see I got a little boil here. I'm going to go ahead and add some Lowry seasoned salt to it. I'm going to drop those carrots and the taters in here, and then I'll go ahead and drop in the meat also. So anyways, I'll give you an update in a minute. Okay, as you can see, we've got this, I have it on simmer, like on 3 while I get all the rest of the ingredients in, but I really wanted to get the meat in there first so it could start cooking, and the carrots. And now we'll turn our attention over here, because these are big potatoes and I don't want to overwhelm the dish with too many potatoes, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean these off pretty good, you know, and then go ahead and get this ready to I'm going to chop it up into small pieces. I'd say about the size of probably like 3 times the size of like a gambling dice. And I'm going to go ahead and chop those up, and then I'll put those in there. We're going to let it simmer for a while, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and then everything all together should be done. I considered the possibility of throwing in, and I'll probably get some, I'll probably throw some corn in there. I like corn. The other thing that I don't have that I would like to put in is I wouldn't mind putting some celery in. I like that celery when it's mixed into other things. The recipe doesn't call for it, but I was going to put it in anyway. So, and like any of these things on YouTube, cooking stuff, you can improvise whatever spice or ingredient you like. Just throw it in there, because that's what cooking's all about. So just we'll be back in a minute. Okay, I only wound up putting 2 potatoes in there because I got to tell you, it looks pretty rich. I might have those potatoes are pretty big. You can see right there. They're like probably the size of a baseball. So when I chopped them up in little pieces, and I like to do irregular sizes, so that there's kind of a variety. So, now I'm going to add some corn. I didn't have any when I started my recipe, which brings up a really important thing. Before you start a project like this, make sure you have all of the ingredients that you're going to put in. So anyways, I had to run to my mom's house and grab some corn from her. So luckily she had plenty of corn, as she always does, because she's grew up in the Depression era. So she's very she's always has lots of things in the pantry, just in case there's a disaster or what have you. And so I'm just going to put some in here. I'm going to eyeball it, what looks good to me. Okay, got all this stuff in here now. I think that's going to be all of our ingredients. So now we're going to magically put that on the burner. We're going to turn this up to, I don't know what simmer is, maybe 6, so it doesn't boil. But we're going to put it up on number 6 up there. And we're just going to let it cook for probably 15 minutes or maybe a little bit more. And we're going to see how it turns out. Been simmering for about 15 minutes or so. How I'm going to check it is I'm going to see if the potatoes are soft yet. If they're not, I'll let them go a little longer. Seems like them taters, I think I think it might need just a little more time. So I'm going to put it back on the simmer here for another 5 or 10 minutes and see if we can get those taters softened up a little bit so they're nice and yummy. Okay guys, here's what I've done. Let it go a little while longer, and it is nice. You can see nice and I'll do another one up against the side here so you can see the potatoes. I can't even get the potato on my on the fork here, but I'll do this against. Oh, it's hard to see. Oh, darn it! Number one thing rule of video photography for videography, I guess you would say, for YouTube is don't get too close. You can see here I can push it and it just mashes and falls apart. So I think we are done on this. Looks pretty yummy. I'll swoosh it around, get all the good stuff off the side so it'll go back into the broth. I'm gonna let this cool down, and then I'm gonna have a little bowl, and then after that I will put the extras, put it in the freezer, and take it to work next week. So anyways, if you have any questions or anything, then please feel free to put in the comments section. I've made this exact thing before, and it has turned out very yummy. And it looks pretty healthy. I mean, look, you got lean chicken, you've got carrots, potatoes, corn. You know, I think overall, versus say getting a fast food lunch, you could certainly do worse. So, anyways, if you got any ideas, definitely put them in the comments section, and you know, I'll add it to my next batch. Thanks. Okay, guys, I let it cool down a little bit, and I've already taken like a little tiny sampling here, but let me tell you, look at that, man, it is good. That is delicious. I highly recommend it. Healthy and yummy all in one.